television in front of 32 NFL teams. That's a giant money maker, which we all know. That is why the Super Bowl makes so much money. The Super Bowl game season being less than a month old is already showing who's
Media Group, Facebook. But before we get started, we want to bow in a word of prayer. Our Father and our God, we do thank you for this new day that you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you for the radio station. We thank you for our listening audience and our Facebook friends. We ask you to bless this broadcast and give us to do what Jesus said, to tell the truth. He said in his word that ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. In Jesus' name we pray, amen, amen. Again, good morning, Councilman Mays.
Morning.
And good morning, Councilwoman Tonya Burns. Good morning.
Good morning, Deacon Dumas, and good morning, Councilman Mays.
Well, let me say this. A lot has happened down City Hall in the city of Flint on last week. I mean, a whole bunch. But last week, our broadcast on the air was messed up and didn't nobody know. Facebook got it live, but let me kind of repeat what happened on last week. As you know, the administration, Sheldon Neely's administration, put out a bid. And the bid package was supposed to go to dealers all over the state of Michigan according to the purchasing order. But they did a selected bid, which in my opinion is illegal, to just dealerships in Genesee County. And their representative got up in front of the Flint City Council and said that the bid package were delivered to all the dealership, GM dealerships in Genesee County. Well, you know, I went to two. I went to my dealership, Shea Chevrolet, where I get my vehicles from, and I went to Applegate Chevrolet. And they said emphatically that they did not receive any bids from the city of Flint. So that sent up a flag to me. So I called the other dealerships, and they responded back in emails and said they did not receive a hand-delivered bid from the city of Flint. Neither did they get an email, and neither, I don't think it was on bidnet.com. And so that leads us up to the day. And I just want to say, Councilman Mays or Councilwoman Tonya Burns. Tonya, why don't you start in and then Mays, and you all just enjoy yourself. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Deacon Dumas. It was brought to our attention through Councilman Murphy during the council meeting that there may be a relationship or parties related. We didn't know about. There was no pre-warning or pre-notice. Someone had obviously tipped Councilman Murphy off in regards to the $500,000 for our fleet vehicles. We started discussing it, and there were some questions which were asked from the purchasing manager and also the fleet vehicle person. His name is Aaron Contrell, and the purchasing manager is Lauren Raleigh. The questions were asked, were they a part of purchasing? Was anyone in that department related? She stated no. Purchasing falls underneath the Department of Finance. They both share the same underneath the leadership and direction of our CFO, our Chief Financial Officer, Robert Whittaker. This wasn't disclosed that the assistant or her name is Vicki Foster, who works in that Department. Her husband, Frank Foster, works for Al Sarah. So we have some people, we have some issues. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to ask Robert Whittakin questions or Lauren Raleigh questions because they were both absent again from the council meeting and then the committee meeting. So we have some. I've got questions. So the question, residents have questions. It's come into question. Why was the scope of the bid changed to only Genesee County? Why was it changed to not include entire Michigan? The state of Michigan. We have received vehicles from Kent County, Wayne County, over the years, Oakland County. And why were the bids hand delivered? We have received letters on letterhead from Schaefer Chevrolet, Randy Wise, other GM dealerships who have said they were not dropped off a bid, and they would like an opportunity to bid on the fleet vehicles. So we have some issues. A lot of people are questioning, is this bid rigging? Why weren't they allowed? We do know we did receive an email in regards to Al Sarah withdrawing their bid, and they claimed that they were the only sole GM dealership that bid it. They have now withdrawn their bid. So I'm going to let Councilman Mays take over and get some input. I don't want to be the only one talking. So, Councilman Mays.
Yeah, I don't think people. Good morning, 14:20 a.m. Good morning, people on social media. Mickey, good morning. Mr. Dumas, thanks for inviting me.
Sure.
I'm coming back out after the primary election. We headed into an election. I heard you say a lot of things has happened last week. It wasn't just the misinformation, the bad information, the half-truths and lies about the purchasing and the purchasing department. This ain't the first time under this administration that we've had bad information and half-truths as it relates to the purchasing department. We had that problem in the garbage contract. Now we have it in purchasing $500,000 worth of cars. This administration from the top through departments is plagued with half-truths and lies. This administration made national news. And I thought it for 7-8 years that Mr. Neely had graduated from Saginaw Valley with a degree. He didn't have one. He knew he didn't have one. And then all of a sudden, when he got caught by CNN and Fox, all the information starts to come down mysteriously. And, you can't really function with an administration where the mayor and department heads tell you half truth and lies. I call Shea Chevrolet, that used to be Patsy Lou's.
Absolutely.
I know the managers, the owners, and, no bids had been hand delivered to all of the dealerships. Miss Foster in purchasing is married to Mr. Foster at Al Sarah, and that's Tim Herman's son is the manager. In other words, I say it. Bid rigging can be things that the person soliciting picks up to try to get the bid and, make money for themselves and their family. And this was outrageous. Once we kind of busted them, then they pulled the bid back. We're not going to go through with this. Well, they went through with the garbage contract, and we had testimony under oath where department heads, Mike Brown, had been intimidated and harassed by Mr. Neely and shredded documents. A lot happened last week, Mr. Dumas, but not just in the purchasing department. I got a call from a mother who, they've been bragging about the no chase policy for police. I'm hearing, and I've talked to Councilwoman Burns about it, I'm hearing about a police chase that shouldn't have happened where a young man got killed on Pearson Road, right up by Family Dollar. And I'm talking to that family now, chased by the Flint police. I guess they were breaking up, people hanging out, but you shouldn't chase. Not only that.
Councilman, isn't that a policy in the city of Flint?
Been bragging about a no chase policy with police and to bragging about implementing a no chase policy with state police, a state representative, and here's somebody, according to what I'm getting, I'll know more about Monday, have been killed on Pearson Road in a police chase. And when you hear the details, it'll trip you out. I try to make it plain to folks. 9 years I've been down there, 10 years. This is the worst administration for getting information, truth, and lies. I heard, and I didn't see it, maybe you seen it, Councilwoman Burns, maybe you seen it, Deacon Dumas, but was there a press conference in the Dome about this $8.6 million as it relates to the water credits? A lot has went on last week. That'll come back before us again Monday, because 26. People trying to campaign with ARPA money and this measly $300. I heard on my way here, Mr. Neely them talking about the settlement. They never should have settled for that. You know, I thought I'd pay part of my water bill with the settlement money. It ain't came yet. We headed into October, 30 days left. I ran for mayor. Got about 1,100 votes. I looked at Neely's votes and Weaver's votes, 4,900, 4,000. We got to fix some stuff. And it's incumbent on the right council people, not those council people who want to cover up lies and cheat. And, you know, we got I don't know if I can say this.
You're not going to curse, are you?
No, I just wanted to say we got a president and a vice president.
Well, I said it. I said it.
On a council that's majority Black in the city, and they seem to be having a ball. I heard Mr. Piper was in the Dome talking about this 8.6 million. I call them the new Fab Five. You had Kate Fields and all kind of folks, Eva Worthing, she's still missing in action. And I'm saying we've got to get serious as a community. My job is to not only talk about the bid rigging, but all of the other problems and try to fix it. I cannot go through another 4 years with some of these department heads, with Mr. Neely and certain council members. And the goal is to provide a better service for the residents of the city of Flint.
So is that an endorsement for Weaver?
I met with Mayor Weaver in the last week or so. Your show is a good show. But when I come out with who I'm endorsing, wink, 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 I'm going to help somebody try to win, we'll do it in a way. We want the whole city to know it. You trying to get an exclusive, sir?
I am. That's why I asked the question.
Believe me, we've been to go to work to try to fix Flint.
Okay, the only way you can fix Flint is change the leadership of Flint, and that's Mayor Weaver.
Well,
I got a question.
Got more than one leader. You got council leadership.
Well, I'm talking about the mayorship, but one election.
We'll be speaking on that real soon.
All right.
In a couple of days.
Okay. I want to ask you all this, Councilwoman Burns and Mays. How can the city council, basically, what are you all doing down there as a council? I call for an FBI investigation because you had a bid rigging, you had the garbage contract,
$9 million.
You had the maybe improper sale of the farmers market. It's just been a lot of things have been going on.
Wow.
And why won't this council? I'm not calling for a council investigation because councilman. Wait, just a minute. Let me, Councilwoman Burns, when you call for a council investigation, the city attorney blocks. What's your thought?
People, elections should have consequences, and overall, we're supposed to work for the good of the people. I look at a lot of different things and how this isn't the people's agenda, just like the ARPA money isn't the people's ARPA money. The trash hearings, they shut that down. We have got this, the fleet vehicles, which is really
It is
And
being rigged.
You have people on that council who say, in the 7th ward, she sat next to me and stated, she didn't have a problem that.
Wait, just a minute. I call names. Hold on.
Right.
Wait. You said the 7th ward. Let me tell them who the 7th ward is.
Call the name.
Allie Hokenroder. That's who it is. On this show, we call names. I want the representatives over in the 7th ward
and the
public to know who these blockers are. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I know you nice and
she's nice.
That I and the 6th was the councilwoman in the 6th ward had called bid rigging. Well, you pal around with some of these people. Like I told them, that's it. It looks funny. It don't look right. These people are married to each other. I mean, you have to show when you look at bid rigging, what would be the benefit? And Councilman Murphy brought this to council. Nobody knew. Whoever tipped him off knew. We received an internal letter, and there's a difference. You can tell when it's internal. People are coming to council anonymously because of irregularities and the function of our city government they feel isn't right. And when you take the time, there's a difference between a document that you tell someone sends and a document that's coming internally. People want good government and good policy, and for us to follow policy and procedure. And it's not happening. When you got no one on that council who says, you know what, that's $500,000. That's the beginning of replacing the 87 vehicles. That something isn't right. Let's have the hearing. Let's have an investigative hearing. They didn't want the trash hearing.
Well, Ms. Burns.
We going into October.
Trash to be removed, and there's no science to it. You put your trash on the curb, they put it in the truck, they drive it off to the landfill.
Okay, but Ms. Burns.
Saving money. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm just saying we're fed up of y'all investigating hearings because you all know that the city attorney gonna block. Why don't you all call the FBI and ask them to? No, I'm asking them. Listen, I want the council. Why is the council scared to call an FBI investigation? Don't worry about me and Mickey and everybody else. Why don't the Flint City Council call for an FBI? Go ahead.
As a body, No. Hold up. You invited me. We work as a body. You're not gonna get 5 votes to take these type of actions. What I'm concerned about is this is September.
Right.
We going into October. You can't let this mayor and the administration fool folks while you try to get 5 votes to initiate stuff and then slide under the wire in a political election and be sitting there for 4 more years with this mess. I'm more straightforward and hardline. Our job now is to alert the public. Them 4,900 people who don't know all this stuff is going on downtown. You've got to switch some of them. I'm in politics. If you get the right folk down there who we can work with and be honest, truth and character matters. You can't let Mr. Neely and them run around fooling people. I mean, it tripped me out. CNN, Fox News, ABC 12,
BET.
Talking about the mayor of the city of Flint been lying to folks. Didn't graduate from Saginaw Valley, and he knew it. If I ain't got a master's from U of M, I know it. I got a bachelor's from Michigan State, but the point is the lying, the half-truth, and the deceit. It ain't just in his office and him. It's the finance department, the legal department, and then you got 5 council people. Murphy be blocking. Herkenroder be blocking. Piper's glad to be the president in this city, and Herkenroder glad to be the vice. When Kate Fields was president, I I was tripping when Maurice Davis voted for her. Sometimes you can't go the FBI way. You can't go the long way. You can't go the sophisticated way. We're in a political arena. If folks is bid rigging, lying, telling half truths, won't cooperate with council, 5 council members blocking, we got to go the political way. We got to sort this out for the residents so they can jump ship and say we don't need that. We got to beg the residents to make our job easier down in the city of Flint so we can serve them better.
Okay, and to these esteemed council representatives, when you do something illegal, if you're selling dope, if you do whatever you're doing illegal, that's not a political issue. That's a criminal issue. And who handles criminality? The police, the state police, the FBI, the Department of Justice. That's where you go. And I can't understand. Wait, let me say. Go ahead. Tanya, you want to say something?
Can I ask her and you a quick question?
No, Tanya want to weigh in. No, because your quick question turned into 4 minutes. wait, Tanya, say it so we can hear you. Go ahead.
It is criminal. And I spend a lot of time speaking with residents and meeting with them. And the residents in the 6th Ward, I've had calls. They want an FBI investigation. Because when we look at how those funds are spent, any other mayor, any other person would have done this. We don't have, Flint is not financially, we've had our budget, they try to say it wasn't a deficit budget. If it wasn't for that influx of that $170 million, that hasn't, we don't have exactly how it's going to be applied. We don't have the luxury of helping to make Altera or to give them money or to limit a bid to one dealership. We want the best or the biggest bang for our buck.
All right,
hey,
councilwoman.
I'm enjoying y'all this morning.
Okay, what you gonna say?
Mickey is the technical man. Mickey, if I wanted to have communications on Facebook and this setup and talk between now and October as I get ready to try to help somebody with, you probably could help me. But you talked about criminal. Do you know I got jumped on by the deputy chief of staff in Rubes? You've read the state police report. They said
I got the state police report for
arrested, and the report is still laying there. When Mr. Neely's deputy chief of staff, and he issued a press release embarrassing me in front of my church members and friends. So my point is this. You are talking about this criminal. You can't get the police chief to move. You can't get the city attorney to move. And in this case, with Mays getting jumped on by the deputy chief of staff in Rubes, you couldn't get prosecutor Layton to move. Well, you got to understand, it is politics when good residents file police reports. Can't get them to move when it's political. You got to understand, it is political.
Point of order. You supposed to say, "What's your point in order?"
No,
and then everybody, then all y'all stop ceasing. Point of order. Let me say something. That's why you don't go to the Flint police, Layton and them. You go to the FBI because I remember when Mayor Weaver was in office, they called the FBI on her. That's what they did. The FBI investigated Mayor Weaver. They took her to as a whistleblower case down in federal court in Detroit.
Did the voters know that? My point is, I don't want certain folks to slip through this election. Now, Ms. Burns, when he called point of order, you take over as finance chair so I can be quiet. Because my point
of order.
What's your point of order, Deacon?
My point of order that Mr. Mays doesn't know what he's talking about. He may be a lawyer. What do you call that kind of lawyer?
There's no way for her ruling because she know I know what I'm talking about.
But I'm talking about, but with all sense, I'm talking about when Mayor Weaver, they called the FBI on her. I'm just saying what happened. And they don't, wait. And they don't.
But Deacon Dumas, nobody knows if
The public don't know. Let me say this.
Making assumptions. We don't know if the FBI has
You got to straighten this stuff out.
Okay, we can sing together.
That they're, they don't do it that way. We don't know that.
Okay.
I can tell you this, that residents, and not just in my ward, residents throughout the city of Flint have called me. They have called. They've got concerns. And so when we take those concerns and we talk about them, it's not my job. When people watch those council meetings. And when we're looking at what happened with that bid rigging. It wasn't. I mean, we're looking. They stated that they delivered to every dealership in Genesee County. There are 14 dealerships. We get an email that states that at the time, because I requested that I get the date and the time because they want everything we do in writing. And I requested that. They sent back about, I believe, 8 of them. So 8 out of the 14, which Councilman Murphy mentioned at our last meeting, he said, well, I'm the one who sent the email because I wanted the date and the time of which dealerships that they went to, that they dropped them off. We have 14 dealerships.
All right, Councilwoman Burns.
Councilwoman Burns, I think Mr. Murphy slipped up. Don't give him no credit for slipping up.
With on letterhead, they're stating we did not receive an opportunity to bid.
All right.
We would like an opportunity, but we did not receive it. Now, Frank Foster has been there since 1995, which is obviously
point of order.
Employed out there.
Point of order.
It is the finance manager.
I called a point of order. And wait, listen, Tonya, I ain't got but 3 minutes left, and I want Councilman Mays to have 1.5 minutes, and I'm gonna close out my show. Go ahead, Councilman Mays.
I've enjoyed y'all, but Mickey, stay tuned because in the next 30 days, we've got serious decisions that we've got to make, and we got to sort some stuff out. I don't mind laughing and joking, but this is a serious business.
Yes,
and it's going to affect us for the next 4 years. We said no, $74 million in ARPA funds that's got to be allocated, trying to keep people from campaigning with them. We've got half-truths and lies, credibility, character, and who I want to work with over these next 4 years to serve the city of Flint. Stay tuned. I'm glad to get up this morning. 1,100 people voted for Mays for mayor. Good group of people, some understanding folks. Now we fixing to try to bring this election home. God bless the residents of the city of Flint, and we're gonna try to keep you informed.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, listening audience, we're gonna hang in about 15 minutes after the broadcast, and follow us live on Facebook. And we're going to continue. But I want to thank Councilwoman Burns and Councilman Mays for their due diligence on that Flint City Council. And we got to make a change. And that's why I'm supporting Karen Weaver for mayor.
Who?
I'm supporting Karen Weaver for mayor.
Who I'm going to support?
Karen Weaver for mayor. Huh?
How you know?
The Lord said it. He does talk to me sometimes. All right, then. But listen, she's a great person, and we need to put her back in office. We can't go through 4 more years of what we got down there now. Neither can we go with 4 more years of some of those council persons who need to be recalled.
Recall.
All right, so listen. Again, I want Mickey. Listen, if you want the services of 810 News Media Group, contact Mickey Jordan. And he'll be willing to do what you want him to do legally for a fee. He ain't doing it free. All these folk want stuff done free.
How much?
He ain't. I don't know. I'm not his. He has his own consultant and all like that. But thank you all for listening, WFLT. For allowing us to share this time. And remember, your vote count, it will matter. And the election will be on November the 8th. The polls will be open from 7 o'clock to 8 p.m. You can vote by absentee ballot. No reason voting by absentee ballots. And we're going to discuss those proposals that's on the ballot because they're very important, and get rid of some of those Flint Board of Education members. They got to go. Joyce McNeil is one of them. She has to go. We're going to have to get rid of them and vote in people on the Flint board that cares about Flint. And also, no, I'm having the last word on the show. Also, Pam Pugh is running for the State Board of Education. She's already the vice president. She received her real doctorate degree from the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So vote for Pamela Pugh for the State Board of Education. And now we're on Facebook. Go ahead. Go ahead, Councilman Mays. We live on Facebook.
Oh, I thought you was talking to Miss Burns. Is she still there?
Yeah, Miss Burns, are you still there? Well, she has to join us on Facebook. She can't, but you there.
Well, let me say this. When you're dealing with social media, mainstream media, you really get some quick sound bites. The social media platform I'll use between now and November. Mickey, you providing a great service, and we can help sort some things out. When I look at election politics and I look at 1,100 votes, I'm proud of. No literature, no signs. When I look at...
I did see some... I want to correct that.
One sign.
Well, don't say no sign. Right. Don't say no sign. You know
how... Order.
Yeah.
My point is this. When I look at the numbers in the primary with Neely and Weaver, 4,000, 4,900. In politics, if you can convince 450 people who might have been misled and confused, 450 people to go from here to there, they might have believed that he had a degree. That was a lie. They might have believed that we didn't have a $24 million surplus when Miss Weaver left, and that we ain't facing a $15 million budget deficit right now. They might have believed that Kate Fields and Maurice Davis and some of them was on the right track. They voted them out. Right now, you got Quincy Murphy, Liddell Lewis, Herkenroder, Pfeiffer, and Eva Worthing them on the wrong track. We've got to fix some things. So I appreciate you inviting me this morning. I had fun laughing and talking. I hope that the citizens sorted it out, because there's some value in what we do. But we got to get serious. We got to talk to people. We got to enlighten the community. And hopefully, I pray to God, seriously, because it's the work I do, that we can move this city forward in a serious way and serve the people.
And we do have Councilwoman Burns back online. And Councilwoman Burns, we want to hear from you. I know you got off when we went off the air. What you got to say?
You know, we got a lot of things that are going on, and it looks like chaos right now. Some people are comfortable walking in chaos, and I'm not. I'm not comfortable with the bid that has come in. I'm not comfortable with the witnesses having to email and contact city council because they were promised they were in a program. I'm not comfortable. Then I get a call that we didn't have any ambulance available in the county or in the city of Flint last Saturday. And this isn't his. I got this documented. You know, he's given press conferences that we're going to be covered by STAT. STAT didn't have ambulances available in Flint for a 12-hour period last Saturday. And there's other criteria that STAT EMS did not meet. I mean, and to me, this is a problem. All these press conferences,
Ms. Burns,
this protection program are going to.
Ms. Burns, I'm concerned about the calls and communications that I've gotten from you and from the person who is catching hell in that witness protection program. I'm concerned with the call and the communications I got from the mother, where the mainstream media and others haven't talked about the police chase where somebody got killed on Pearson Road. If these things, I know it's true, about the person in the witness protection program that the chief wasn't being honest about, because they called me after the meeting. They were watching. I really believe that somebody was in a police chase and got killed on Pearson Road, when the policy that Mr. Neely is bragging about is no police chase. So as we go in the next week and we find out some of this stuff to continue to be true, not just the bid rigging and whatever, but I think the whole problem is between you, myself, Jerry Winfrey Carter, and others that's forthright and honest or trying to be on this council and that understand some things. We've got to figure out how to get the public to know that, hey, we can't go on like this.
Well, I got a question. Mick, I want to say our Facebook friends, 810 News Media Group, if you have a question, you can pose it, or on Facebook, AC Dumas Facebook. If you have a question, please pose a question. So, Ms. Burns and Councilman Mays, Ms. Burns, I heard you say on a program a couple of weeks ago about what the Flint Police Department has been ordered by the police chief, Terrence Green, not to respond to. Can you share that with our Facebook friends?
State that question again. You're talking about the letter of understanding.
Yes, the letter of understanding.
Yeah, and I don't have that in front of me. It's an LOU that there are certain calls that the Flint Police Department does not respond to. So there's a list. And I don't have the list in front of me right now to go over the list. So when certain calls, what they want, you don't get an officer. What you get is you have to call in. It goes into what they call the TRU system, telephone reporting system. So people think that they'll get a call. You won't get a call. We are the only municipality in Genesee County that if you call for calls, which are limited. We're also no longer in the Tyler RMS sharing information program. And what the difference is that is, when I had Post Commander Yvonne Brantley on, information that Flint Police has, it's not shared with other agencies. So it puts Flint basically on an island with information. So the information that they have to intake is not given. It's not given to the other municipalities. So there's a lot of things that I learned working with, spending the day out with the 911 center and the staff out there. And when we talk about that to me is important. My concern was when people call 911, they say, we were I had been put on hold. And so, and people say, well, 911 didn't get the call. Well, let's go to 911 and see what the problem is. The problem is that if we don't have cars or officers to send, just as yesterday, I had an accident on the corner of Mackin and Lavender. The gentleman had been waiting over 2.5 hours to get a police officer out there. Our rear wheels were knocked off the axle. So when we talk about, we know we need more police, but we also need transparency, and we don't have that. I got another call last night from those witnesses because they still haven't, they don't have anyone to help them. Other council members stated that they did not receive an email. When the email was sent, it states in there who the senders were to. The only person's name that was misspelled was Councilman Pfeiffer's his name, and I forwarded that to him and discussed it with him, so he was aware of what was going on with the witnesses.
Ms. Burns, let me say this. I don't give certain council people credibility because I know who they with, who they blocking for, and what they're trying to cover up. Pfeiffer, from the information I got, I haven't double checked it, was standing with Mr. Neely in the dome as he tried to bash us about this $8.6 million. I talked to Ron Fonger from M Live yesterday, and he said he had asked Pfeiffer, he said, want something to say, and he said nothing. Okay, so in my opinion, if you got 3-4 council people blocking and condoning this activity and half-truths is problematic. I've been on council long enough to know that if you let them run over you, you're going to get ran over. Sometimes you have to call their name out because we transfer money, we set policy, and I ain't rolling with them. Some of them I don't even talk to on the elevator, don't even say hi. Because if they taught me when I was third vice president of the Flint branch of the NAACP, if you condone wrongdoing, half-truths and lies, bid rigging and anything else, you're just as guilty as the wrongdoer. Some of these people want this to continue and go on. They want it to go on. So what I want to do in the next 30 days, I got to take a chance. I got to try to make it clear. I got to try to help us do some things, and I'm sure you will too. But, you know, they can call me ignorant. Some people think that I ain't polite. But when you in a fight for justice, when you trying to fix some stuff so you can serve the citizens of Flint right in the area of policing, you should know by now, Attorney Kim is a little outrageous. What happened with him and that council person Murphy, in my opinion, had something to do with Miss Inez resigning.
Wait. That's what I'm hearing.
On the 30th of September. On the 30th of September, we're going to do something from 1 to 3 in council chambers for Miss Brown. I'm telling you, I can't speak for folks, but I can speak for me. I can speak for what I think I know about Miss Brown. I mean, Black folks, pillars in the community. And then you got some white folks and Neely and others and council people. It's destroying some of our history and what we're doing. I'm not going to talk polite. I'm going to name names. I'm not going to be prissy. If it's bid rigging and illegal activity, that's what we know. You don't know what's happening with money exchanging behind the scenes, under the table, or whatever. This is real, and we've got to communicate to the people, and I'm looking forward, Mr. Dumas. I haven't come out the house. I'm looking forward to next week as we try to make some of this stuff plain, and I will be telling Flint what I think about the political arena in these elections real soon. And gonna want some workers. Come on in. We want some workers that we wanna, you ever heard of Mays and Goodman Enterprises? Mr. Dumas.
I heard about it.
Well, I know about Mays and Goodman. I'm gonna pay folks to go to work politically.
Okay. Ms. Burns, with respect to Flint City Clerk Inez Brown, who has been the city clerk for 25 years, do you find it odd that before an important election, 30 days, 32 days before an important election, that she would retire? Do you find that odd, knowing the character of Mrs. Brown?
I'm not even say this odd. I'm going to say that I feel Ms. Brown was forced out. Ms. Brown spoke out for the first time we had ever had in Flint's history. The administration did not show up to answer any questions for the budget hearings and for the budget.
Who is the administration?
So they did not show up for the budget adoption, not one person to answer one question. And they adopted a budget with not answering any questions. There was no one there. The mayor wasn't there. The city administrator wasn't there. The department head wasn't there. Not one person. So not only was it a disrespect to the council, and they always want professionalism, it was a disrespect to the residents of the city of Flint. Ms. Brown spoke out about that had never happened. And it never happened that there was not one amendment to the budget. When you got council people who feel they're there to get along only with the mayor, it's not their job. There's a respect supposed to be served on both sides, and it's not given.
Ms. Burns, I got news for you. I've been filing counsel for 30 years, and it ain't only what done happened, in my opinion, with Ms. Brown, but the president of the Flint City Council, and what happened to me is unprecedented.
Yeah.
So you got 2 or 3 unprecedented things happening in Flint, and people better really catch on.
You know, you would have seen, you know, she has been speaking up. For her to speak from her seat meant that it was something so irregular. It's so chaotic at City Hall right now. We're giving press conferences. The state ambulance service is doing a great service. And here it is, they didn't have a single ambulance available in the city of Flint. We're giving press conferences that we're having witness protection programs, and no one knows where the MOU is stated. They say the MOU is on the chief's desk. The prosecutor stated it's on the prosecutor's desk. The MOU wasn't signed to put it in court. And you got witnesses out here shuffling around and not receiving any service. And then the key part to this, the witnesses is friends to the mayor.
Murder witnesses, murder cases, folks who can't come back to
How do you think he's going to treat the residents?
Folks who can't come back to Flint.
Responsibility to work for these residents who elect them. That is their responsibility. And I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing them holding this administration accountable. When you look at those ARPA funds, 66% of that budget of the ARPA funds goes to government programs. This is historic money to do something historical for the people. This is not happening. When you get Councilwoman Priestley and then Lewis, they're saying, well, I'm saying Priestley saying, don't spend any more money because, you know, this money isn't being, it's not for the people. You know, let's halt the spending. I'm not understanding.
Ms.
We
Burns,
respect the individuals.
be honest with yourself. Some of them council people will say one thing on a Monday and change and vote a certain way on a Tuesday. I can go better than that. Some people will say no in the first part of the council meeting and come back and vote yes in the second half when the vote comes. You can't look at what people say,
how they vote.
You got to look at what they do. If we listen to what folks say, we would think that Neely got a master's from Saginaw Valley University. So you don't look at what people say. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. You look at, let me finish by saying this. You look at what folks do. I done worked with.
Wait, hold. I got 2 people talking. Ms. Burns, let Councilman Mays finish his, and then you can come right on. We're in good shape. Go ahead.
I done worked with 3 administrations. Wallen, Weaver, Neely. You don't look at what an administration or a mayor say. You look at what they do. You don't look at what a council person say. You look at what they do. And once they continue to do and say things that's out of whack, you call them out and move forward. So I'm going to just wrap up by saying this. My experience with people and politicians and people giving people chances and misinformation, I'm kind of wise. I ain't buying it no more. And the sooner we can get people to catch on and speak up, the better we will be as a city.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Burns, your turn.
I'm going to say this. When I worked for Mayor Neely, he has a disdain for Miss Inez Brown. He didn't want to deal with her. That's a fact. And he told me that. I'm not doing hearsay.
You kidding?
He wanted her gone.
Wow.
There was Folks Flowers. He refused to pay for Folks Flowers because this is how petty he can be and is. Folks Flowers was going into 6 months, had not been paid. And it was $779, and I believe 88 cents. And Folks Flowers is a small business. He wouldn't pay Folks Flowers because he wanted to keep sending the bill because he thought it was going to go to Miss Inez Brown for his own swearing in. And I told him, Manuel, you have to pay this. Folks Flowers was calling me, asking me, because I have an account there. You know, well, we need to have this paid. You take care, you're the mayor of the city. Because you're trying to tug at her and get at her and be petty, you allow Folks Flowers to not be paid for 6 months, who is small business, who has served every administration, who did a beautiful job at swearing in.
Well, it sound like W.T. Stevenson and the pipe replacement program.
He went on to slander W.T. Stevens on the radio.
They sent somebody.
He threw it to small business because he thought if those farmers had anything, he wanted to get the bill paid by Miss Brown. He wanted that bill to go to her. It wasn't her responsibility. His swearing in was his responsibility.
Somebody came by my house from his office last week. And when I get into details of this, it'll trip you out. I was on the phone with you. Come by my house, and an hour or two later, somebody else come by my house. I was on the phone with Mr. Dumas. I cussed him out at my house and told him to get away. I'm telling you, with what I know and what you know, we got a job to do. We've got to let other people know what's happening, what we're going through, and then we got to put our best foot forward to fix Flint. We got to do it from the mayor's office to the city council. And now I got another appointment I'm going to go to. I done enjoyed y'all this morning, but stay tuned. Do it look like I'm here? I'm here. Do this look like my little pointed head, square haircut? It is. I can't speak for nobody else, but I'm not going to be quiet, and I'm going to try to make it plain and be effective between now and November. I'm going to say it, and I'm sincere. God bless the residents of the city of Flint. Stay tuned.
All right. Well, thank you, Councilman Mays, for coming. Councilwoman Burns, we got 8 minutes left, and you can continue whatever you want because, you know, the resident, we're live on Facebook, and I got a lot of followers following me today. You know, it's troubling to the residents of the city of Flint. And, you know, every morning we get up, every morning, you know, we don't know what the next day is going to bring. What about this blight and the opera money? When will we be able to get the opera money?
Well, on February the 14th, our CFO, Robert Whittigan, stated that he would have the application process ready in 7 days, which would have been February 21st. We are now, September the 24th, and we still don't have it. So I don't have very much faith. Everything coming out of that ARPA money is funds and programs that has been strictly and solely allotted by Mayor Neely and his administration. When we ask basic questions, we don't really get answers. Councilwoman Judy Priestley stated with the ad hoc committee that they have had no input in the ARPA funds they have met, that this administration has not had their input, that basically they're moving forward with allotting this money without any input from the council. And this council, for the life, I don't get why they don't stand up. I don't get that part. They allow everything to be pushed through and let it be someone else's agenda. And that's why residents need to call their council people. Call them, email, come to city council, speak up. Because what they hate is having residents come to talk to them. You, my council person, you need to represent me. This is what I want. And that's what they have to start doing. Because right now, this is not the people's agenda. It's not. I'm looking at how the programs or lack thereof, this isn't for the people. Not at all. And when the ad hoc committee has said they're recommending that the council don't approve anything else because they don't have any input on the ARPA funds. And they've been working with them with this since November. So we're coming up on a year shortly in a couple months. That's a problem for me. That's a problem. And residents have a powerful voice. They need to talk to their council persons, and let them know.
All right. Well, I just want to make this announcement, a couple of announcements, and thank you that the Flint branch of the NAACP, we will be celebrating our 41st dinner, Freedom Fund dinner, and that's October the 8th. we want you to buy a ticket to our listening audience and to Facebook and all that can hear me. And it's for a worthy cause. And I want to say this, that the Flint branch of the NAACP does not get scholarships and grants and all that. We only function by what we raise in our Freedom Fund dinner annually and by memberships. Memberships are $30 a piece, and $18.22 of that $30 goes to the national office. So we don't get all that. So it's on October the 8th, and we want you to buy a ticket, buy a table, do a what they call electronic virtual ad. Last year, it was a great celebration, and people called the last minute, and we were sold out. So we need everyone to buy a ticket. And if you don't want to buy a ticket, at least get a membership to the Flint branch of the NAACP. That allows you to be a membership of the national NAACP. So I want to put that out. And also on this afternoon, it's a fundraiser for Karen Weaver at the Arts Council next to Halo Burger downtown. I think it's from 2:30 to 4:30, sometime around there. And it's women's only, women for Weaver. So
it, but it's men we invited to.
Oh, they said the men invited.
That's for throwing it for the women for Weaver.
Okay, thank you, Mick. The women for Weaver is sponsoring it. They said we can come, Mick.
Yeah.
So you need to ask the lady, Mrs. Can you come?
I already asked her.
Did she say you can come? Because we know who run your house.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., my bad.
2 p.m. to 4 p.m. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then after that, Dewan Robinson is having a bit at the same place. And I think it starts about 6 o'clock at the Arts Council. That's right next to the Halo Burger downtown. So make sure you try to support these events. And again, we're supporting Mayor Weaver for mayor. And don't forget about the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner, October the 8th. It starts at 6 o'clock, and VIP starts at 5. And this is very, very important. And I have found out when we have so many complaints weekly to the NAACP. I mean it. Over a year's time, we probably have 1,000 some complaints to the Flint branch. And we do the best we can. It's a volunteer organization. Don't nobody in the Flint branch of the NAACP get paid one red penny. So that can be settled now. I was president before Mrs. Gilchrist. She was my vice president. Now she's president and I'm first vice president. And we haven't gotten one red penny. As a matter of fact, a lot of times we have to put our own money in there because people don't join. So please join the NAACP. And again, 6th Ward Council Person Burns, I want to appreciate you for coming on The Truth Shall Make You Free and staying over to our Facebook. I know, it's getting cold outside for the people. I had to turn my heat on this morning to take the chill out the house. Can you believe that? But I did. Because consumers going to charge.
It was my pleasure to come on your show this morning.
All right. So don't forget, we're supporting for the State Board of Education, Dr. Pamela Pugh, and for the Flint Board of Education. I've supported 3 so far. And let me give you their names. I'm supporting Michael Clack. I'm supporting Chris Del Maroney and Carol McIntyre. I'm supporting her so far. And I see folks that's running want me to support them. I'm not supporting Joyce Ellis. I'm not Dr. so-called without a doctorate degree Joyce Ellis. And few more I'm not going to support. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Facebook friends. God bless you. It's 10:30, and thank you, councilwoman. Bye now.